Well, good morning, my friends. It feels like a month of Sundays since I've seen you all, and I have missed you. Mermaid, what up, girlfriend? Neela, where is Sebastian? Exactly. Almost 6 months now, and Sebastian, not a hide or hair of him. But the question is the rigmarole helping or hurting? I want to have a real talk conversation today. Feelings on the back burner because no one can be right or wrong. No one can. Nobody can be right or wrong about this because we don't know what the investigators know. And when I say investigators, I'm not talking about Tony. And I'm not talking about Bullhorn Betty. I'm not picking on Betty. I'm just saying I'm talking about we don't know what the investigators know. Good morning, Rexy, Erica, Prissy, Missy, girl, where you been? Nufflin's in. Joy Jones made it. Woo-wee. We'll let everybody pile in for a little bit and see. Let's just catch up. First off, how was your weekend? Debbie said evening. Oh, it's morning here, but good evening to you. Walking Dead made it in. Tracy. Hi, Tracy. I love you. So glad you guys are here. First of all, I have to apologize for my meltdown on Friday. But even my old crusty ass can only take so much. All right, so yesterday did not have a show because I had to go to the hospital. Long story short, I had to have a biopsy is what it's called. Now, y'all have seen some real ugly pictures of me floating around, okay? You've seen some real ugly pictures of me, okay? Everybody already knows about the situation in New York. You saw that horrible eyebrow wax job that I had. God. If anybody ever needed a retake on a mugshot, that'd be this girl. Saw a picture of me when I was leaning up and my belly, my gut was hanging over my shorts. I actually appreciate that picture if you want to know the truth. Nothing says bathing suit weather like, putting that on your refrigerator. So this is me in the hospital yesterday. Check that out. Now, when are they going to start making nicer gowns? Okay. All right. Look at that. This picture, caption this. This picture screams, use a filter. This picture screams, eye bags. This picture screams, lip liner would help. But that is me, and here is my beautiful armpit. They found something in my armpit, which, by the way, is going to go away. It is not a big deal. Let's talk about Sebastian, though. Mermaid said, this picture screams stressed. Yes. Just Cat, Hurricane Brooks. Yes. My neighbor took me. And I felt so bad for her because I'm telling you what, she was jumping all over the place taking care of me yesterday. Rexy, I never wear makeup. Well, thank you. Kat said Hurricane Brooks. Exactly. You look at this and it's like, is that cancer or a hurricane? You know what it looks like when they're predicting hurricanes out in the Atlantic? And that's what you see. Hurricane Brooks. That's what we're going to call it. That is what we're going to call it. Let's take a second and tell everyone, welcome your neighbor, above, below. Hola. Glad to see ya. Mermaid said, I thought it was a baby. Well, it felt like a baby coming out of my armpit. If I was having a baby, I'd call the National Enquirer. I'd make $1 million off that baby. No babies for Brooks. However, I'm having a hard time using my left arm. So let me tell you what happened with my oh so loyal fake Bombay cat. I got my arm situated where it needs to be on a pillow, my left arm. And OJ decides to get into the armpit baby. He gets all snuggled up in there to the point where I could not go back to sleep. So I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm up. Came in, got him his breakfast. My coffee was ready. After the black bastard ate, and no, that is not a racist term. OJ is actually a black fake Bombay cat. He went back to bed and went to sleep. Yeah, that's what he did. That is what he did. Yeah, had the nerve to go back to bed. All right, let's get to some news in Sebastian's case because a lot of stuff happened over the weekend that we're going to have to get through on our own here. I'm telling you. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. When will this stop? Okay, first, this is Katie Proudfoot, KP. The woman that has no time to look for Sebastian. But some people say she searches for him all the time. It's just not publicized. I don't know. I haven't, been out in the woods with her. I don't live there. She's talking about Bullhorn Betty that continues to stalk us. She is planning to riot with her bullhorn. There is an open pending stalking investigation, case number SCSO24-06477. The detective working the case has BHB's information as they have her pertinent data. She is dangerous. Now, I'm going to say this, okay? And I know there's a lot of people that are big Bullhorn Betty fans. The show is not about Betty. I will say this about life, and we all know it. This is not anything new. Sometimes when we cause shit shows in different cases and places, our reputation precedes us. And so when law enforcement speaks to other law enforcement and they say, now, hold on, this happened in Florida? This happened in Georgia? It was shut down in Fruitland, Idaho. Nothing got to happen there. So they go ahead and they put things in place so it doesn't happen. However, and this is 100% total satire, so I want to share this with you. Cat's Life, good morning. So glad you're here. So glad you are here. Scaredy cat Katie, I'm telling you what. You guys have got to see this, though. This is from a channel called Mocking Media. Please, these people are hilarious. Remember, this is total satire. One of my favorite quotes by Audrey Hepburn. If you ever need a helping hand, you'll find one at the end of your arm. As you grow older, you'll discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others. I love that quote. I really do. Now, this channel is helping Betty shop, okay? Remember, this is a joke. This is total satire, but it is hilarious. You have to really look at the screen and everything they put together. This makes Candace Wells' Amazon wish list look like something a Girl Scout would put together. This is awesome. Good morning, Snow. Okay, this is really important. I love sarcastic senses of humor. I absolutely love them. I want to hang with this chick or whoever this is. Shopping for a private investigator, ? What items would help them solve mysteries? Fear not. We have a few ideas. This person can hang with us, okay? This person can hang with us. Bullhorn Betty bedroom set. Avoid being served edition. Queen size medium, no action mattress, memory foam, plastic sheets included, bed bug technology, fatal attraction pillows. Sounds like a deal to me. Sounds like a deal to me. Holy shit. The avoid being served edition. Because you know she still hasn't been served. And I believe there's 4 protective orders now. Chrissy Proud Feet, KP, and the Bauer socks. That's an awesome bed set. Look at that. Now, it looks like there's some stains or something on there, but that's okay. That is okay. But it's the avoid being served edition. Remember, this is all in good fun. If we have a bunch of Betty fans in here, I don't want to hear it later. The fatal attraction pillows just about had me shitting a brick. It was so funny. Here we go. There's the Bullhorn, $12.99. Now that is a deal. That is a deal. JLR Audio, imaginary boyfriend Bullhorn, extra small mouthpiece to get your lips around. Takes forever to turn on. Won't you call back? Cold sores and low standards included. Wow. Wow. $12.99. What do you guys think? $12.99? That's a deal. Now, at this point, I don't know where I'm going to put my pennies. I don't know if I want the avoid being served bed set with the fatal attraction pillows or if I want the low standards imaginary boyfriend Bullhorn. AI dangerous thumbnails by Twisted Fucks. Oh. In 2044, Tim falls in love with Bonnie, a mysterious woman. As their relationship deepens, he discovers her violent tendencies and uncovers a shocking truth. She's an AI experiment brought back to life, pursued by a dangerous company that face a climactic battle for survival. The Kindle price is $2.99. Gotta have a Chili's gift card. Gotta have a Chili's gift card. Chili's date night, bathroom stall, rental gift card, no refunds. Free remorse and shame included. $30. Look at that. $30 and you get fast free shipping. Check that out. What do you guys eat at Chili's? I personally like that Monterey chicken. You know, of course, get the chicken tenders. OJ likes those. Now, this is a must-have. A lot of people have been sharing these screenshots of her behind a green screen, I guess. But it's like you can only see like nose up. It's like she doesn't want to be seen or something. We have this solved. $15.99. Get fast free shipping, of course. Dollar General, green screen, green shears, 84-inch length, white trash design. By the way, white trash is not a racist term. I can say it whenever I want because I'm white. White trash design for video production or bedroom curtains. Process servers can't see you technology. Well, I'd say that's a freaking deal. What do y'all think? I'm loving this. And if I was Betty and I saw this video, I would laugh my ass off. I would love it. I'd be like, this is the best shit I've ever seen. We have to laugh at ourselves sometimes. Now, this is interesting. Fisher-Price Medical Examiner dress-up set. Toys for fake crime sleuths on YouTube. Includes Miss Halitosis Bullhorn. Look at that. Look at that bullhorn. Fake press pass. Oh, real Xannies, Adderall, and penicillin. Now, this is only for ages 40 to 55. So if you are younger than 40 or over 55, you cannot have this fake crime sleuth set, okay? Woo! Now, this one is interesting. A little pricey. $79.99. If you order today from the mock shop, you can get it tomorrow, August 21st. Self-grooming kit. Overgrown bush trimmer. Handheld pink. 2 rechargeable batteries. Very important to keep those batteries on the up and up. Okay, my friends? Indoor use only. I suggest you put a towel under you before you use this grooming kit. Bump stopper cream included. Trim some to get some technology. Now, this will be handy. And look at all the different attachments, my friends. Look at all the different attachments. Woo! If that wouldn't clean up your pizza pie, I don't know what would. Look at that. KY Magatub. Look at that. Bedbug spray, KY jelly, all-in-one lube and bedbug remover. Bedside table. It's got the Magatub and pump. Travel spray. Cheap hotel spray. Stain-free, all-natural, fried bologna scented. Now, I will say you can do the subscribe and save on this one. $71.97. You would actually get a 10% discount, and you would get the KY plus the bedbug spray with your subscription. Every month, every other month, I don't know, but the deals just keep a-coming, my friends. Oh my. Now, I don't know what is hanging out of the Chili's dumpster. I'm afraid to ask myself. That looks like quite a wad, if you want to know the truth. That looks like quite a wad. Pump and dump playhouse for adults. Reclaimed Chili's dumpster. Steel construction, which, by the way, is very important. Privacy guaranteed. Self-worth is not included. Stain resistant. Desperation scented. Now, who wouldn't want that in their backyard? Look at that. Look at that. And don't forget, you have the pump and dump, the KY, and the scent spray from before. It all works together. Now, this part kind of sucks. All sales final, no refunds. I understand why, though, because there isn't anything on that list that would not be used every freaking day if you were, if you had a certain sense of self-esteem. Okay, I'm just going to put it right there. I can't get enough of that shit. Paper Slut said no refunds because everything is fun. You're damn right. You damn right. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that video. All the views are probably from me. I had to share it with you guys because I thought, you know what? No one can take themselves or who they watch on YouTube that seriously. But that shit had me rolling. What didn't have me rolling is old Tony. Now, what's Tony up to? Because he decided to bombard Brittany J the other night. People are saying she set it up. You could clearly see him grab the link. Got some problems, though. Got some problems. A lot of stuff is coming out. This came from JLR. He's putting a lot of stuff out from a lot of different women about, shall we say, what is the 2024 politically correct word? Let me think of it. What is the word when a man hits on a woman and it's creepy and they're just a nasty bastard? I know, sexual harassment. Sexual harassment. Now, when you have a group of people together, women namely, that know each other, okay? They know each other. Normally what you have there is an agenda, okay? You have an agenda. There's somebody they're jealous of. There's somebody they can't stand. There's somebody they want to see destroyed. These women that are coming out talking about these different searches don't know each other. They don't know each other. They are from different areas. These are totally different timelines. Seth Rogers accused of making inappropriate sexual comments and advances towards female volunteers searching for Sebastian Rogers. One lady had a pop. She was, using a straw. She was told by Seth, allegedly, that he has something more fun for her to suck on. Well, what could that be? What could that be? What would be more fun to suck on than the straw? Devil Eyes said, they aren't the only ones either. My friend dealt with a bunch of this shit from him as well. Well, I don't know what to say about all this. I'm telling you something right now. But there's too many people with the same stories. Remarks he made towards that young girl was awful. He is the lowest of the lowest. He said that to my daughter. He would still be searching for his teeth and glasses. A girl who will remain nameless said, I'm just saying I had a similar experience with Seth on one of the earlier searches for Sebastian. His behavior definitely seems to be a part of his character. Needless to say, I never went back and I have kept my distance since. This lady reached out to the Pascal show. She said, Seth said he had some meat she could put in her mouth, referring to a hamburger she was eating. Said this in front of a woman named Jaden, his mother Karen, and the rest of the folks at the dinner at the vigil. Well, okay, I wasn't there, but we have too many women that were at different vigils, different searches, that are saying the same thing. Not the exact same thing, but saying, some shit went down that was real creepy. It can't be more creepy than the guy running for sheriff, though, Eric Craddock. R-A-P-E, is such a strong word. I prefer snuggle struggle. Yes, that was 11 years ago. Yes, he probably at that time did not see himself running for sheriff, but the internet lives forever. Ever. Now, I don't know how many of you have sons. Okay. I will never, ever, I have 3 sons, I have a husband, I have 2 stepsons. I will never adopt the boys being boys. That's just how guys act. No, we can hold men to higher standards. I promise we can. Don't get me wrong, women can say some nasty ass shit. They can say some real nasty ass shit. Those women drive me crazy because something's funny one day and 2 days later it's offensive. Those bitches can't sit with us. But Tony decided to jump on Brittany's panel the other day. Now, I tried to get a hold of Brittany yesterday. She's super busy. I'm going to assume it's okay that I use her content. She's not going to be like Daisy going around going, that Breck is such a child. That Breck is such a child. She stole my content. She stole my content again. Brittany's not like that. Let's see what Dick Talk Tony had to say.
I don't know where that came from. It's not true. I have a civil.
We have silence.
That's it, Shelley. I stand with Sebastian.
And I think we can all agree that
my heart goes out to him and to Katie. I could not imagine what it feels like to lose a kid. My kids cough the wrong way and I freak out. So I couldn't imagine. I couldn't. Tony.
I agree with Brittany. No matter what ages our children are, we think it's tough when they're babies. Once they leave the nest, you're extra worried. So I can't really say that I can relate to Katie. I can't really say that I can. Because to me, it just doesn't seem that she has appropriate behaviors for a mother who's missing her son. But I can say that for Seth, for Tony, and for the stepdad, if you want to call him that. I'm really tired of this. People have to pick a side. They have to pick a side. You go to some chats and they're like, oh, everyone's here just to hate on Katie. Oh, everyone's here just to hate on Seth. How about this? They all failed him. They all failed him.
Tony, would you like for me to drop you the link? I'll gladly let you come up. And we will be respectful. I just don't understand why all of this is being said. It's being said that you are trying to get people to take other channels down. Regardless of my feelings for anybody, nobody's channel should go down because they dislike a person.
I could not agree with that more. I cannot stand that mob mentality. When they have an issue with a channel, if you don't like something you watched on Netflix, do you cancel Netflix? Do you start writing crazy emails to producers? No, you just don't watch it again. You're not there to cause problems for anyone else. And mark my words, he did say it. Mark my words, he did say it.
These channels are keeping Sebastian's name out there too. We all are. Yeah, he's more than welcome to. Okay. Jules, you want to come up with me if you want to?
All right, I'm going to react to this comment because I totally agree with it. Robin Brown, yes, here for Sebastian, but you see, it's not about Sebastian. It can't be about Sebastian until they get out of the way of Sebastian. When the adults that were supposed to protect Sebastian start acting like parents, well, I don't think we would be 6 months along. I really don't. It's not a popularity contest. No one's running for student president.
I dropped the link. Yeah, I only talk to Seth in my chat. I don't have a personal outside of my of YouTube. I try to be very careful in that regard because you know, it is dangerous to get too close to the families.
Brittany cannot be more correct. She cannot be more correct on that. The closer you get to families, in some cases, you will get bit. Let me tell you, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. No matter how good your intentions are, you still cannot comprehend what they are going through. And I mean that for Seth, for Katie, for Chris, for the Bauer Sox. You can't comprehend what they're going through. And eventually, you're going to get bit.
All right, there's Jules. Hey, girl.
How are you?
A nervous wreck.
Don't be nervous.
A lot.
Yeah, don't be nervous.
Have you heard about any of this?
I have, well, what I heard was that there were pictures going around, that there was a photograph that was taken. And I thought at the time, if that's true, it would be all deals off with him.
Yeah.
All deals. Like no conversation even.
Yep, that's Tony. Okay, I see you, Tony. I appreciate you turning your camera on. Do you want to leave it on? I don't want to. All right, here we go. Hey, Tony.
How are you?
Good.
This man, I don't know how many of you have ever spoken to him one-on-one. I don't mean listen to him on YouTube. How many of you have ever actually spoken to this man? Present company excluded, meaning me. He has stirred up so much shit and gone after good-hearted people that are really trying to help. It is horrible. Horrible. What are they all going to do? Here's the question. What are they all going to do if Sebastian just miraculously jumps up out of the woods, goes back to that door they say he just walked out of and says, hey, I'm home. I finally found my way home. How are they going to answer for their behavior? How is Katie going to answer to, well, her timeline changing and a few other things? How is Chris going to answer for his I don't give a shit behavior? How is Seth going to answer for how he has acted? Think about it.
I appreciate you coming up.
No problem.
Okay, so are you aware of everything the screenshots and all of these allegations that have been made? Have you heard about it?
Brittany, I got to be honest with you. When I saw your live pop up, I had no clue what you were talking about, but
Oh,
I can tell you that I can answer a few questions for you.
okay.
The lady that said that I said there was an engagement letter signed on Pascal. There's going to be a lot of things that are just completely not true, but that's the first one.
Okay.
And there are receipts to that. You can go back and watch Pascal's show. I simply said that Pascal is the one that introduced us. There's never been an engagement letter signed. I'm free to quit donating my time and money anytime that I see fit. And Seth is free to get rid of me anytime he sees fit.
Okay, I believe Tony there because I don't know who the hell would sign an engagement letter from him. This did go rolling around. There was the big debacle. Joe Petito did not show up on Seth's channel. People said, and you know who the people are, that he was harassed and people threatened his foundation. Well, they made their own statement. Naturally, Joe declined. And we all sat shaking our heads what a damn shame it was for Seth, who was just trying to find his son, to be involved in all of this nonsense. But we cannot compromise the integrity of the foundation and the mission. Does anyone blame Joe Petito for saying, I don't want to be a part of that circus? I don't want to be a part of it. No, thank you. He's not the type of person, I've met him, I've spent time with him, that's going to be bullied, harassed, or threatened. But when he smells bullshit, he's going to say, not today, Satin. I'm good. I'm good, Satin.
It's a volunteer job, and there is no money or contracts that have ever changed hands.
Okay.
As far as trying to take content creators' channels down, Brittany, I can tell you in the last 2 weeks, I don't know when somebody supposedly said this happened, but in the last 2 weeks, we've put 7 billboards up, done 3 interviews, and planned a vigil. And the last thing on my mind is content creators right now. So
Okay.
I don't know where that came from. It's not true. I have a civil suit right now that's tied to a criminal suit pending against a content creator, but it's not even on this platform.
Okay. Okay. Because
All right. Anybody want to take a guess at who the civil suit, the content creator is? It's not Mawa. It's not me. Anyone want to take a guess, or do you know? What content creator is getting the civil suit? Now, mind you, this is according to Dick Talk Tony. Tony is not going to be suing Bullhorn Betty because she's doing too much for them. Uh-oh. Christina Alaska, girlfriend, where you been? Where you been? She said, wait, toxic, trashy TikTok Tony is doing this for free? Is that just what he said? Yeah. That's what he said. That's what he said. We got some guesses in here. Is it Dolly? Is it T-Rev? Is it JLR? And of course, they're on YouTube. He can't be suing Nick Barris. Nick Barris has freedom of the press.
I just want to tell you so you know, because, and I do want to be fair and say this, Tony. I have, from the moment I started the live, I said, I don't know. I don't know. I want to ask questions because we have supported Seth. I still support Seth. I don't think, I think Seth.
Mermaid says Queen Bee with a question mark. I wouldn't think it'd be Queen Bee. I mean, I would hope not. She just kind of does her own thing over there. She's got people that come on panel, kind of discusses what goes on the YouTube streets. So I would hope not, because, Bullhorn Betty is already trying to sue her. There's channels that are 100% dedicated to talking about Bullhorn Betty. I don't see if it's the creators that some people are talking about are in Tennessee, and I don't see any civil suits with Tony Mathis's name on them in Tennessee.
Seth is the one that has been trying to find his son. I've seen him out here pleading with the public. So, I'm not coming at this from a nefarious standpoint. It's just really concerning when you see things like that. But what they're alleging is there was someone in a group with you who has taken screenshots of some group you were in and shared them with another content creator. And in these screenshots, it's basically they're accusing you of paying Bullhorn Betty to follow the Bower socks. They're saying,
So let me give you a little background. We were in a Facebook group. Let's see if I can get a light on in here. I'm sorry it's so dark. I'm sitting in here watching a football game.
Please leave the light off, Tony. For the love of chlamydia, leave the light off. This ain't no Motel 6. We don't need the light on.
I just appreciate you coming on to clear it up for us. You didn't have to do that, so I appreciate it.
Did he say he came up here? He has not seen these pictures yet?
Yeah.
Because I do think that's a little shady. Like I'm no fan of Tony. Sorry, Tony, but I do think that could be easily like, why would Tony go on Facebook and send pictures like that? Like, obviously, it'd go back to him. So I'll give him that.
So let me, and I appreciate that. So we were in a Facebook.
Okay. So Cher is saying common sense. I don't see him sharing these pictures knowing it's going to come right back to him. He missed the part where she said, and I'm no fan of Tony. Well, Tony decides to do the long stretch, go, and I appreciate that. Who the hell is going to hear someone go, and I'm no fan of yours? Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Seems that he doesn't know how to read a room. That's okay, Tony.
Facebook group of a bunch of TikTokers that supported Seth that I created a group with. We had 2 or 3 ladies that were in that group that left the group. Them and the other girls had a falling out. As you guys know, I seem to somehow get the blame for everything. So when they left, they took a lot of that frustration out on me. And there was 5 or 6 subgroups that these girls created that I was not in. And what created the falling out is a couple of these girls went and they chased down a content creator's mom in her hometown and connected with her mom, and they did a bunch of really wild things that I did not know about because it was all going on in a group that I was not.
Hold on. Wild things? What were the wild things? Anybody want to help me on this? I got to hear this again. They were doing a bunch of wild things.
Trying to take content creators' channels down. Brittany, I can tell you in the last 2 weeks, I don't know when somebody supposedly said this happened, but in the last 2 weeks, we've put 7 billboards up, done 3 interviews, and planned a vigil. And the last thing on my mind is content creators right now. So
okay.
I don't know where.
I need to hear more about the wild things. I've got to hear it. Help me. Woo! They were doing wild things. Damn, Tony. But you can't explain it. And where's the 7 billboards? There's a lot of people local to Sebastian's case, and they complain quite often. Now, there's billboards around. But where's the 7?
Where that came from, it's not true. I have a civil suit right now that's tied to a criminal suit. pending against a content creator, but it's not even on this platform.
Okay. Okay, because I just want to tell you so you know, because and I do want to be fair and say this, Tony. I have, from the moment I started the live, I said I don't know. I don't know. I want to ask questions because we have supported Seth. I still support Seth. I don't think, I think Seth is the one that has been trying to find his son. I've seen him out here pleading with the public. So, I'm not coming at this from a nefarious standpoint. It's just really concerning when you see things like that. But what they're alleging is there was someone in a group with you who has taken screenshots of some group you were in and shared them with another content creator. And in these screenshots, it's basically they're accusing you of paying Bullhorn Betty to follow the Bower socks. They're saying, yeah.
So let me give you a little background. We were in a Facebook group. Let's see if I can get a light on in here. I'm sorry it's so dark. I'm sitting in here watching a football game.
I just appreciate you coming on to clear it up for us. You didn't have to do that, so I appreciate it.
Did he say he came up here? He has not seen these pictures yet?
Yeah.
Because I do think that's a little shady. Like I'm no fan of Tony. Sorry, Tony, but I do think that could be easily manipulated.
Hold on. Do we have breaking news? Eastern Girls Crafting said BHB got served. Did she? Do we have breaking news? Can anyone verify this? I need to know. Here I was about to, introduce the idiot of the week. We might have breaking news. I very rarely get to play the song. Really have breaking news that she gets served. Time will tell, but thank you. We never have breaking news here.
Like, why would Tony go on Facebook and send pictures like that? Like, obviously it'd go back to him. So I'll give him that.
So and I appreciate that. So we were in a Facebook group of a bunch of TikTokers that supported Seth that I created a group with. We had 2 or 3 ladies that were in that group that left the group. Them and the other girls had a falling out. That, as you guys know, I seem to somehow get the blame for everything. So when they left, they took a lot of that frustration out on me. And there was 5 or 6 subgroups that these girls created that I was not in. And what created the falling out is a couple of these girls went and they chased down a content creator's mom in her hometown and connected with her mom. And they did a bunch of really wild things that.
I love the wild things. The only content creator's mom I could think of anybody trying to connect with would be Betty's. Now, I'm not really down with that. I'm just going to say right now. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just, speculating. Wild things.
I did not know about because it was all going on in a group that I was not in. And they told me that was for my protection. But yet when it all blew up, somehow they blamed me, which is fine. I mean, as a spokesperson, you get blamed for a lot of things. But I can tell you now that regarding Bullhorn Betty, Betty went down. When she went down on that trip, she had been hanging flyers all day. She had had lunch with Seth. She had helped him set up his YouTube account. And then on top of that, she'd been stalked by Terry. He got her pulled over, and then they had their little altercation. And I knew that she said on her live that she was getting ready to go have a steak. So I bought the woman a steak. And it was because of all she had done for Sebastian and Seth that day. And it was.
Tube steaks don't count, Tony. So he brought someone a steak for all they had done that day for Sebastian. Okay. The question remains, and this is not a popular opinion, so get ready. Get ready. There are parents out there that beg for their children's cases to be covered. Beg. And I hate to say it, but even with the bad news, the drama, Sebastian's name is still out there. Maybe a few people just need to take a chill pill and not engage it. Because if they don't engage, it will stop.
Due to what she had experienced with Mr. Bowersox, and I sent her $50 to buy her steak, and that's the extent of it. And in the memo on my Venmo, it says, enjoy a steak or get yourself a steak or something to that effect. So that shows you how things get spun out of control. I'm a person that lives in Oklahoma. We back the Blues strongly. I don't do things that break the law.
Would you be willing to share and be transparent with your Venmo and Cash App and stuff, at least towards, I don't know if you know, her name's not Betty, it's Andra.
But it's Andrew Griffin. But
so
yeah,
would you do that?
I certainly would.
That'd be appreciated.
Okay. I see where share is going. Can you share with us where you sent Andra, aka Betty, the Venmo for the steak? I'm not doubting it, and I don't really give a rat's ass what she put in her pie hole or why she got the steak. You give me $50, I'm going to get more than one steak, a piece of peach cobbler, and a baked potato, though. Hell, I'll go to the Country Mart here in Glenpool, and I'll have a freezer full of food. Everyone, we have breaking news. Shelley gifted five Crime Lines and Lies memberships. If you received a Crime Lines and Lies memberships, you thank Shelley. Damn right, me and DT Driver went to the Country Mart. We go to the Indian Reservation quite a bit, too. I need to tell Robin Brown about it because she doesn't live too far from me, and Shonda. And $84. $84. Filled up the fridge. Well, the freezer. Shelley is the wild thing of the day. Who else wants to be a wild thing? Who wants to be a wild thing and get a spanking today? Shelley obviously wants one.
I don't know. Let's see here. Let me see. I don't want to.
But you don't got to do it tonight. I was just wondering, would you be open to doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna pay somebody to stalk somebody because that's not what she was there doing. I mean, if you watch the live, she's a close friend of mine, and
I'll keep interrupting. I'm thinking about sales ads at the Country Mart. She was not stalking. There are 4 protection orders now. No judge is going to sign that without some sort of proof. Reputation is not proof. Hearsay is not proof. YouTube damn sure is not proof. There is something that this judge is going forward with to keep her away from them. And again, this show is not about BHB. He's sitting there saying she's a close friend. Okay. How close? Inquiring minds really want to know. I really want to know. Don't make me go through that video again about the fatal attraction pillows.
And whether you like her or not, she's very close to Seth and I, and she was not there to stalk anybody. She got in an altercation with Terry after she noticed that Terry was following her and taking a picture of her license plate. You can clearly see it. She saw him in her rear view mirror. But I'll share a Venmo. I mean, I have receipts for my claims. The sad thing is that people don't have to prove guilt. It seems that we are always having to prove innocence. Regarding Caleb Harris, I had an administrator of our Facebook group that sent me a picture and a video that I did not, I did not care to see. I was not involved in the case anymore. And I can assure you that I sent that to nobody. And I had many people ask me for it. And I told them that Randy was a coworker and a friend of mine, and there was no way in hell I was going to be sharing that information. And quite frankly, when it was sent to me, they didn't even know if it was him at that point. So, that didn't happen either. I mean, and Brittany, the only thing I will say, and I have no, you can have my cell phone number. I gave it to Josh the lab the other day, and we had a great conversation. If you ever want to ask me a question, I would much rather make myself available than to be tagged and have a video with that kind of a title on.
Woo! Giving out the digits. How dare you, Tony? Do not make people jealous. Christina Alaska said the judge worrying. BHB might uncover either one, what LE has for a case, or two, what they aren't doing. In my humble opinion, is she getting too close? This is a very popular theory because something came down the pike to make that judge sign all those ex partes. Giving out the digits. You wild thing, Tony, you wild thing.
On it because I'm not hard to get a hold of. I'm glad to talk to you at any time.
All right.
It is a little disenchanting, to hear you just make up your mind that I'm an asshole when we've never even had a conversation.
I don't think
No,
that's
no,
fair.
no. She's just questioning it.
I don't think that's
She's
fair.
just questioning it.
No.
She's honestly gone privately for me being too hard on you, and Seth's privately. Like this is not fun for her to do tonight, Tony. I'll tell you that.
When you were talking about Brittany here, you're talking about someone who has put her butt on the line. She has had faith in Seth. She has been there 100%, and she's not done anything questionable. So that doesn't work.
I get that, but
Okay, let's solve it right here. Like I said, this is real talk. This is real talk today. The Tony and Seth show, because that's what it is. We don't hear from Katie. We don't hear from Chris. We don't hear from the Bowersocks. Real talk. Is Tony an asshole? Put a 1 in chat. If you think Tony's an asshole, put a 2 in. If you're like, no, he's a cool dude. He's doing a lot of stuff here. He's getting shit rolling.
Brittany, am I incorrect here? Was it you that said I think Tony's an asshole, or was it somebody else on the
I may have said that.
I said that. I said you're a liar and you're an asshole. I said that for sure.
Okay. Well, my apologies then. I thought it was you that said it, Brittany.
No, I did say that I want to be able to ask questions because I don't blindly follow anybody, because
that's fair. That's fair. Completely fair.
Honestly, Tony, there have been some horrible things that have come out, and if it is things that you are innocent of, Seth is innocent of, it's horrible. And I will say I'm sorry if you have been falsely accused of these things.
They have attacked my wife. who's got nothing to do with any of this. You know, they've sent emails to my work. They've sent emails to my family, content creators, and it's one that's doing it. We finally snatched his IP address when he sent an email. Believe it or not, the same person was sending emails to the pet rescue that we're donating money to. And he got a little bit careless, and one of the IP addresses got captured. But you know, we've been through it. You know, the pictures you're talking about on TikTok, that did not happen either. What nobody talks about is I went back and replayed the live. I showed a recording of me going into my TikTok lives, pulling the video up from the night before. They said it happened at the 13-minute mark. I was with my best friend, who's a 60-year-old stage 4 cancer patient, fishing in Minnesota when I did that live that they put that overlay on. It's the same person.
Okay, hold the hell on. Did I hear that right? Okay, I see Justin just popped up, but he hadn't said anything yet. Did I hear that right? I thought I'd listened to all this thoroughly, but you know, I miss a lot of things. Hold on.
Somebody else on.
Oh, I may have said that.
I said that.
happened to
I
think
said
you
you're
are.
a liar and you're asshole. I said that for sure.
Okay. Well, my apologies then. I thought it was you that said it, Brittany.
No, I did say that I want to be able to ask questions because I don't
That's
blindly follow anybody, you know,
Yeah,
because
that's fair. That's fair. Completely fair.
honestly, Tony, there have been some horrible things that have come out, and if it is things that you are innocent of, Seth is innocent of, it's horrible. And I you know, will say I'm sorry if you have been falsely accused of these things.
They have attacked my wife, who's got nothing to do with any of this.
Leave people's families out of it. And remember, if they think it's funny to do it to one person, they will do it to you. That is a fair warning for all people with a channel, with a Facebook group, whatever. You leave families alone.
You know, they've sent emails to my work.
Leave people's jobs alone. There is a couple of bitches that have been after me for a good 6 weeks now. I've known these women for years. I know where they work. I have text messages from them talking about how much they can't stand their fucking job, how they're going to call in sick even though they're not sick, how they're going to dip out early, talking about their boss, talking about this, talking about that. Do you think I would ever call their place of employment and be like, I got something interesting for you? No. Leave people's real lives alone. Talk about the case, not about the face.
They've sent emails to my family, content creators, and it's one that's doing it. We finally snatched his IP address when he sent an email. Believe it or not, the same person was sending emails to the pet rescue that we're donating money to. And he got a little bit careless, and one of the IP addresses got captured. But you know, we've been through it. You know, the pictures you're talking about on TikTok, that did not happen either. What nobody talks about is I went back and replayed the live. I showed a recording of me going into my TikTok lives, pulling the video up from the night before. They said it happened at the 13-minute mark. I was with my best friend, who's a 60-year-old stage 4 cancer patient, fishing in Minnesota when I did that live.
He took a cancer patient fishing in Minnesota. How's Tony getting all around the United States? Did I hear that right? This is some Daisy shit here, okay? I'm being fair. This is like Daisy when she talked about the man with lung cancer, and she said that his blood pressure was really low. So she unhooked him from everything. Good old Daisy. I'm telling you, she's comic relief for me. She talks mad shit about me. I call her comic relief, okay? She said she unhooked this man from all of his stuff, okay? All of his stuff. You know, she's a professional. She's a nurse. All his stuff. She took him down where the nurses smoke. Dr. Daisy did, okay? So she let him. He was supposed to have a double lung transplant that day, but they couldn't do it because his blood pressure was so low. So she let him go out there and smoke. Then she took him back up and hooked him back up, and she goes, and you know, he got to have that life-saving procedure. He got to have that life-saving procedure. All right, Tony, you just took a book out of Dr. Daisy's book. Thank you.
That they put that overlay on. It's the same person that sent the emails to my work and to this poor lady at this pet rescue, who also sent emails to Joe Petito. So they said it happened at the 13-minute mark. I went back and played pretty much the entire live so that people could see the real live unedited. And of course, there was nothing there. I was in my pajamas sitting in the hotel lobby when I did the live, and my phone was fake.
He was sitting in his pajamas in the hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine. Put your clothes on, Tony. You're in public. You're not at the Walmarts. Had my pajamas on in the hotel lobby. Listen, are there any fellow Okies in here right now? You know how disgusting it is when you go to certain stores and you see people wearing their pajamas? Who wears PJs in the lobby? Hope he didn't have no morning wood. He's not getting any younger. Playing on his laptop in his pajamas in the lobby.
Face down on a table. But, you know, you just get tired of defending yourself against this craziness because it never ends.
Well, apparently I did call you an asshole. So
I knew a guy named Tony. I guess you could say he was a sex fiend. I met him in a hotel lobby in his PJs and his laptop on his lap and his knees. Disgusting. Put your fucking pants on.
that I apologize.
Well, I thought I saw your box light up, but you know.
That's right. You know what though? I have to tell you this, and I'm probably gonna get some shit for it. But
Who cares?
people don't like me anyway. It's the fact that you come up here and you're willing to have a discussion with us.
That's true. He walked right in, straight
I'm
up into the
telling you,
lion's den.
That you got my respect for that. Because,
Well,
yes, I told Justin to get his butt up here.
Tony, when stuff like that happens, sorry, Justin, when stuff like this happens, do you turn that over to the law at all?
So, you know, in a court of law, I mean, I was a federal process server for a lot of years, and I worked with, you know, attorneys for day in and day out for quite a while. And, you know, you have to have legal standing when you turn things over. And even defamation cases, you know, you can go give an attorney a $2,500 retainer. And if you win, if you can't show measurable damages, you're going to win the case and you're going to get $1. And so it gets to a point where you.
But it comes down to this, Tony. Will it shut them up so you can proceed with what is more important? I totally understand. I've had to roll that dice before. What is more important? Getting Sebastian's case out or shutting certain people up? I think a lot of things are going to change on the internet in the next few years. I really do. It's not going to be the Wild West like it is right now. People have to have, well, people are going to have opinions. Does anyone have an issue with someone having an opinion? I don't. I love to hear people's opinions. To be quite honest, they don't even have to be that respectful in my book. I'm not that easy offended. I'm sometimes easily pissed off. I love people's theories. I love their speculation. I can't tell you how many times I have gone back to what someone has said. It could have been months ago. And I'm like, I remember what this person said, and it made so much sense. Sonia Allen, she goes, I don't, as long as they agree with me. Hands clapping right now. That is the spirit of YouTube right there. You better agree. You better agree with me. By the way, this is nothing but sarcasm. Great job, Sonia. Robin, who's too busy to go to the reservation with me this week. Why does he need to get dressed up if he's not going on camera? All he did was point his phone at the live. I don't know what you're talking about. I was talking about when he went in the hotel lobby. Nobody wants to see his old crusty ass sitting there in his PJs when people are checking in to go to their rooms and they got their kids and everything. And he's sitting there looking like a homeless diddler. No. Good one, Sonia.
Realize that most of the people attacking aren't doing anything to help my client or Sebastian. And so you become oblivious to it. But, the truth is that, Seth and I, this is what a lot of people don't know. I'm more like a brother to Seth than I am a spokesperson. And he's got another lady that's more like a sister to him than she is an event planner. And it's just the three of us for the most part. And, the relationship we have is private, but it's also very, very deep. I represented Seth for about a month when I found out that he and I grew up 15 minutes apart, literally spent Sunday eating dinners at the same place. And I'd represented him for a month before I even knew that, because I thought he had been in Tennessee and California. And
I love this taster's choice moment for men. He's more like a brother. Who's my client? He's more like a brother. We grew up like 15 minutes away from each other. Okay, Ted Mullen Jr., what are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of this?
Didn't know that he grew up in a little town in Kansas. And then I dug a little deeper and got to get close to his sister, and found out that her childhood best friend was one of my wife's bridesmaids. So, we're connected in a lot of ways, and we've got a very, very brotherly relationship. And, that's why he gets defensive like that, because he knows what happens behind the scenes. He knows when he's having a rough day, who's there for him. And Brittany, not only have I not taken I didn't take a dollar from Randy Harris either, but, when I go to Tennessee, I'll be in Tennessee for 5 days, leaving on Thursday. And, those hotels, that travel, those meals, those come out of my wife and I's pocket. They don't come out of a GoFundMe.
Can I ask, I want to ask this question. I do want to clarify this. I looked this up myself. Michaela's Mutts is not the same Michaela.
No,
that's not her. This lady was she's a veteran.
It's a very unfortunate name, but it's not the same Michaela. And she is a phenomenal human. So is her husband. They have their business life.
Okay, in my opinion, my humble opinion, he has every opportunity here to turn the tables and talk about Sebastian. when he went missing, what Seth has been talking to Katie about, if that can be shared. There's a lot of questions about Sebastian's internet access. Who all he had communication with that weekend. He's got a perfect platform to do it right now. But he's not doing it. He's there to defend himself. What is more important? I wasn't there. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. And if law enforcement have the truth, Sebastian wouldn't be missing. Write that down. If law enforcement had the truth, Sebastian would not be missing right now. Because you see, the fact that there is no evidence is evidence. He's sitting right there, and he can clear a lot up. He can clear a lot up and switch it right back. Put it in reverse. Out the driveway. Let's talk about the day Sebastian went missing. No. And he needs to quit bringing up Randy Harris's name, or he's going to go crazy on him again. He's going to go ape shit crazy on him again.
Licensed, everything's filed properly. But, just to show you how vile some of these content creators are, her husband is the one that trapped this IP address. The gentleman that sent it did not realize her husband was an IT guy. Mm-hmm. So he had 4 or 5 emails that were sent. I think all but one of them were from a VPN, but one of them was captured about 6 minutes from his house. Mm-hmm. So, it's not that, but to your question, sorry, I got off on a tangent, but it's not the same Michaela. It's not, mm-hmm. not any relation at all.
Well, one of the things I'm seeing people frustrated with, and they keep asking in chat, is why is the money from the vigil going to Michaela's mutts, and why is there not a reward fund set?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know. All that money, where did it go? Why not? Because for me, one of my kids is missing, and I raised something like $23,000. That's just what we saw publicly. First thing I'm doing is setting up through like an attorney or law office sort of thing, some kind of reward fund. Because Tony, these days, people will talk for some money. Like with Summer, we did have quite a large reward fund. From what I remember, I want to say $50,000 to $80,000, somewhere in there. And no one came forward, but sometimes a little bit.
So here's what I'll say about the reward. First off, anytime that any money goes to Seth for anything, which it hasn't since I've been representing him, he gets viciously attacked, and he didn't want that to happen, so he wanted to donate that to a cause that would make Sebastian proud, which was a pet rescue. Sebastian's
going to do just a basic poll in here. Do you think, try to put yourself in Seth's shoes, and it's impossible to do, okay? If you have a child that's missing, and you raised a shit ton of money, where would you put that money? Where would it be better served? A reward fund, or would you support a pet rescue? I would want a reward fund for my child. That's just me. Put a 1 for reward fund into for another cause. You think Sebastian, when he gets home, he's going to say, man, y'all could have raised money to find me. You could have had a big ass reward to find me, but you decided to save the puppy dogs and the kitty cats. Hell I ever do to you? You didn't have a reward fund for me?
favorite animal is a cat. We actually tried to get a kitty rescue, but we couldn't get a return call from him. So
Is that where all the GoFundMe money went?
No. The GoFundMe money, you're fairly accurate on the amount there. To my knowledge, again, I don't have access to that.
Just over like 23K. I was just wondering, did that go to Seth? Did that help? Maybe it helped with living expenses. I understand that because he wasn't working. I just want to know, where did that go? Do you know?
So I will tell you, without sharing Seth's private information, which I won't do. I'll just simply say this. The first 60 days, as you guys know, he was searching every day. And he was off work. And he was off work far beyond that when it got to the point that he couldn't hardly walk because of his neck. So he did not get any relief from his job until just recently.
He just had surgery too, right?
That's correct. That's correct. So he had to live, and that GoFundMe money is not gone. But without knowing, when he was going to get some relief from his job or when he was going to go back to work, and the other thing too, the law enforcement has been pretty adamant, and there's a lot of.
Okay. Before we get to that, this is something I want to talk about. If anybody wants to grab the link and come up, you are welcome to. Who exactly told them it was not a good idea to start a reward fund? Now, I don't see any reward being offered by any law enforcement agency. None. And if the pet rescue lady is worth her salt, she would put Sebastian's name out there without getting a big donation. That is just my opinion. Who on earth would say, not a good idea to have a reward fund? Not a good idea to get anyone to talk. Money talks, bullshit walks.
Things that they advise that we may or may not agree with, but they've been pretty adamant about there not being a reward offered. It is something that is still on the table. It may still happen, but I can tell you this, if you know anything about Seth Rogers has not spent a penny of that money that he didn't have to spend to live. The man is not a fancy guy. The man does not have, I have not seen the man have one new item anywhere around him since I've been representing him. They attacked him over his motorcycle, and he had his motorcycle far before Sebastian went missing. So
we didn't see him out shopping for a new one, so.
no, yeah. I mean, he's not a guy that buys, fancy clothes or fancy.
He's still in the same apartment. Sorry, like that. He's still in the same spot, right?
Yeah, they raised his rent, and he didn't even want to move because
he didn't move.
That's right.
Right.
Tony, I'm Justin. I have a few channels, Justin for All Clips and Pearls. I've never spoken to you publicly or privately, but nice to meet you. I have a couple questions. First, why do you think, in your opinion, the perception that people, have of you, like what?
I'm going to say this for myself. I don't give a rat's ass where Seth spends his money. I don't give a shit. He's the benefactor of that GoFundMe. Now, if the people that donated want to raise hell, they can raise hell with him. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care about his damn rent. I don't care about any of it. I am really, really tired of people screaming from the rooftop, "Don't help Sebastian, don't help Sebastian, don't help Sebastian." This is a spokesman. This is a spokesman up there. And he's spending more time, just like they've done on Pascal, I can't tell you how many times, talking about money than about Sebastian. Let's talk about the weekend Sebastian went missing. Let's talk about that. Janice, thank you for the super sticker. Baby Kisses, thank you for the super sticker. Give a rat's ass what I don't care. If he cashed out that $23,000 and said, I don't have any toilet paper, I'm going to wipe my ass with hundreds. Not my goddamn business. I don't care. Sorry, God, that was not your fault. Get off of it. Use some common sense. Sebastian is not my child. He is Katie's. He is Seth's. Only two people can steer this back where it needs to be, and that's the parents.
What do you think it is that gets you the amount of criticism? And I'll be the first to say I have criticized you, and I'll tell you why here in a moment. But I try to.
Do you know, was Seth, we'll just go with Seth because that's your client, as you say. Was he offered anything from the law for someone to help him, like in the presence of media, something like that? Or that's what you guys are trying to do now? Or like, how come was he not offered someone? Because I know that's an option. That's my question.
Well, so I can't speak to that. I don't know. I wasn't here early on. I can tell you definitively that when I was introduced to Seth, I did not at that time have any desire to do anything other than potentially help him with the search team. Seth spent probably 2 weeks talking to me daily about being his spokesperson, and quite honestly, I didn't know that I had the time in my day to help him. I was out fishing on a Friday. I don't remember the date, but I remember that he told me that regardless of what Chris and Katie decided, that he really needed some help and would, can you please help me? And, after realizing that he was, in my opinion, he was really struggling, just in general. I went and talked to Randy Harris, Caleb's father, and they were in a situation where they didn't really care to have, a whole lot of media attention. They talked on the phone, him and Seth did, and Randy said, I really think that you ought to help the guy. And so I agreed to help him. That's something I hear over and over again, that I've inserted myself into these cases, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Randy was a friend and coworker of mine. He asked me to help him. I helped him until he didn't need the help anymore. Seth asked me to help him, and I told him I would help him until he didn't need my help anymore. So I did not ask either of these fathers. I mean, I don't have a background in this, guys. I'm learning as I go.
Is it fair to ask, if you do not have a background in being what does Candace call it? A meteor manager? Then why would you just pick some rando like Tony just because he ate at the same restaurant as you in bumfuck Kansas? Why would you? Everybody's his friend. Everybody's like a brother to him. So, I mean, what's the deal? It's offensive. It's offensive to me. Sebastian is missing, just like Tim Mullins offends the shit out of me. He will talk about everything except the disappearance of Summer Wells. Tony will talk about anything except the disappearance of Sebastian. And I'm getting real damn tired of law enforcement, not just in Tennessee, but nationwide, when they say run away. Truth is, some kids do run away. I don't care if a kid is 5 minutes away from being 18. If they're not in your house, they're missing. They're missing. If they ran away, there's a bigger problem. That's called missing. You figure out the particulars later. They're missing.
Um,
Can I ask a question to Tony?
yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
As long as he's okay with it, sure.
Of course.
Tony, this is Nana.
Hi, Nana.
Hi. The situation between you and Trevor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm listening and I'm observing what's being said by everybody. Do you think it would help? Because I think that's when everybody started with on board of Seth was a jerk when that all happened.
Yeah.
So would you think it would help, since Justin is a great friend, and if Justin, you want to do this, of him, that maybe you and him and Justin could sit down and talk about this and work this out?
I don't even know what you're
you,
asking. Anna.
yeah, I can tell you that at this point, there's probably not going to be any conversation between Trevor Lee and myself, and I highly doubt that there would be with Seth. I'm not going to speak for him. I think that
Well, I'm going to step in it big time because on this one, I'm going to have to take up for Tony and Seth. I understand that Trevor is a big fan favorite, but he got caught in this community lying big time, to the point we were extremely upset with one woman in here because he kept saying he'd been hacked, that this woman has a fake app. Now, I remember standing up for Trevor, and I had a long conversation with him. I'm like, now listen, Seth is really, really pissed at you. Really pissed. So what is going on? And as I've gone through it, well, I'll put it this way. I know what happened to this community. So as far as Tony and Seth saying, I'm not gonna deal with him. Scratch a lie, find a thief. And I'm not saying Trevor stole anything. I defended him to the hilt until a very, very good friend came to me and said, Brooks, you need to listen to this. And I said, what? She's like, are you sitting down? Are you going to pay attention? That's how she talks to me. And I said, yeah. And she said, no, he did. He did do all these things. And she said, in Discord, when he told us all, he said he didn't. But he did. And he did not want to talk about it. He didn't. He got caught, and instead of just doing like what adults do, saying, hey, look, this is what happened. This is what I said. This is why. And you work it out. That's not how it went down. But hey, every day's a new day. Every day is a new day.
there's just been too many things that have been said, and I'm not talking about him. Let me clarify that. I'm just pointing out how we got to where we're at. I just think that bridge is not going to be rebuilt. But, he's got Seth's number, and, if Seth wanted to talk to him, he could reach out to Seth, and I'm sure Seth would have a conversation with him if he chose to. But, I can't speak for him on that. I mean, Seth is, in contrast to what a lot of people think, Seth is a big boy, and he's not a weak man, and he does do, for the most part, what he wants
Why
to
are
do.
you up here then instead of him? Or why is he
ma'am,
not up here with you?
Well,
Ma'am, she asked me to come up.
No, yeah, no, I was just wondering, but Seth was in the chat, then I asked the question, like he disappeared, but then you're up here. I'm not, that's not no dig. I was just, you think,
Robin Brown said, yeah, but look, every influencer ran with poor Trevor Lee and caused more drama only to find out the BS, but it's too late. Sad fact of the matter is, Robin, for one, you're right. To me, it's not about every influencer, creator, whatever word people are using today. It's about someone that you considered a friend for years. So, of course, you're going to run with someone that you have considered a friend and basically a part of your family for a very long time, someone you've exchanged birthday gifts with, Christmas gifts with. You ask a simple question. Did you really say this? I know that you wouldn't say something like this. I get a text back from him. Correct. He messaged my husband. He goes, I have never said anything about you or your wife. It'd have been easy to say, hey, I was in a shit mood. I was told this, whatever. We've all been there. But instead, he came up with this damn Jason Bourne saga about someone in here who can't even remember her damn passwords, supposedly having some sort of Napoleon Dynamite hacking skills, to the point where my brain was about to explode. It's like, just fess up. He also told us in a phone call that he goes into other chats to stir up trouble under a sock account. Yep. Yeah. So you spend all that time trying to help someone, build a channel and everything like that. You defend and defend and defend to find out. And it wasn't even, and guess what? The lie wasn't even that big of a deal. It really wasn't. It really wasn't.
I just wondering.
Well, first off, Seth is out of town. And
the internet is everywhere, so don't even say that. Seth just isn't up there. They invited you up. Seth doesn't need to be there, Tony. Come on.
I don't know. You can just say he can't make it. That's okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah,
Well,
and I am, my job is to represent him. So, I have the answers to the question.
My job is to represent him. That's what Tony said. Remember, this is real talk. There's no sides here. The only side on this channel is Sebastian. He says, my job is to represent him. I do favors for people. Don't get me wrong. I do favors for people pretty much anytime they ask me. I don't do a damn job for free. Hail to the no. I'll do you a favor all day, every day.
Questions Brittany was asking, and she was kind enough to invite me up, and I figured I would answer those questions.
Everyone thinks I'm being rude. I feel like I'm being fair. I do appreciate you, Tony. I know I've been hard.
I don't think you're being rude.
Okay, that's all that matters, because I have been hard on you. I do appreciate. I still don't believe everything, I'll be honest, but I appreciate you being up here. Now, people say you don't like to answer the hard questions or whatever. So if you're ever up for like a friendly debate, I'm down. Now, Bullhorn Betty will never let you do it with me, but I think there's hard questions out there that I think that's all I'll say. So but I do appreciate you coming up here.
I've never dodged a question unless it involves Seth and something that he doesn't want to answer. But I have no issue answering any questions. I have nothing to hide. So if you've got a question that you think is a hard question.
Well, I've got a hard question.
Do it.
I've got one. I've had like 3 people text me this. And I honestly, I've heard about a dinner, but I don't know anything about it. And I'll just read what it said.
Fire away.
It was, and again, I support Seth because I believe he's innocent, but
Yeah.
I'd just like to hear your
Mhm.
opinion on this.
Okay.
Allegations about Seth being inappropriate. The dinner
yes.
after the vigil, the one Pascal abruptly left. There are screenshots floating around that Seth allegedly made pervy comments to Jaden's girlfriend. I have no idea who Jaden is.
Now, the truth is, a few people abruptly left. And some of these, what people will call jokes, ribbon on people, just being funny. Listen, you get one woman that goes, ugh, ugh, ugh. And then another one that's like, that sounds pretty funny there. It's time to find a new joke. Let's try this one. Knock, knock. Who's there? Not all jokes with women that you don't know need to be sexual. Just telling you. They don't need to be. And that goes for chicks too. Don't be talking all fucking nasty and ratchet and then get offended when a man gives it back to you. Enough of that bullshit.
I didn't hear any comments. Quite frankly, at that dinner, we were in Red Robin. It was very loud. Pascal left because it took us a while to get seated, and he had I'll just say this, he had some people with cameras in his face at the vigil, and that was the reason he left. It had nothing to do with anything other than that. I walked him.
Not according to him, but go ahead, Tony.
To his car. We had a great conversation. We're still friends today, still talk on a regular basis. But I can tell you that I spent most of my dinner talking to T-Rev. I had never met him in person. He had some hard questions for me relating to my background and things that were being said, and we talked through those things. And I did not hear, most of the time, Seth was sitting next to Michaela. I was sitting across from Seth and next to T-Rev, and I did not hear anything that he said that was inappropriate.
So is this the Jaden? Jaden said I was there. Is this the Jaden that was at the dinner?
It may very well be.
So I heard what was stated. I pray to God that it's not true what they're saying is said. I pray to God that's not true. But I mean,
I can tell you that I can.
Okay. My understanding was it wasn't just said at the Red Robin, but other people from earlier searches to on in different scenarios, people that don't know each other have said allegedly that Seth says nasty things. He thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny. One girl was sitting in a chair, okay? Sitting in a chair, taking a break, drinking her water, and Seth goes, "If I tickle you, will you pee?" Listen, you're supposed to be looking for Sebastian. That's not the time to play tickle monster. And nobody wants to pee in front of people they don't know, okay? It doesn't work that way. If I tickle you, will you pee? Come on, let me tickle you. I'm going to tickle you. I'm going to tickle you. I'm going to see if you pee. No. Sorry.
Can say that Jaden and his girlfriend are like family to Seth. And if Seth ever had done anything to offend them, they would talk to him directly about it. But I can tell you that they love him like a father figure. So I would not be surprised if this was more manufactured information. But
Well, that's what I was thinking, because the way some creators have, the little bit that I know about this, they've made it seem.
Okay. This is my thing of it. The women that have spoken out, whether it be in Facebook groups, on good old Twitter, now known as X, on the TikTok, anyone, I mean, any of them, they don't live anywhere around, they don't know each other. These are totally different scenarios. Could it all be manufactured? Could it all be manufactured and all of these women were told to say these things? I don't know. I don't know. It's got to make sense to be true. What makes more sense? Someone who thinks they're long duck dong all of a sudden. Is making inappropriate jokes that are creeping people out, or that they all made it up. Every damn one of them. Every damn one of them have got such a hardened soul that they want to put something on a man who's missing his son. Or did they all have these huge crushes on Seth and he didn't intercept? I don't know. I don't know. I can say right now, there's no side on this channel, at least for me. I can speak for myself. I can see how they all were not on the up and up with Sebastian, for sure.
Seemed like Pascal went to the bathroom. He came out, then he's like,
No.
correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but he's like uncomfortable and he's like, hey guys, I'm leaving abruptly.
That's not what happened at all.
I mean, Pascal is very professional and
He is.
so I would never question Pascal's character either. So
Agreed.
So
Well, to be
Jaden,
fair
if
though,
that-
there's gonna be Tony's side, Pascal's side, however many other people at the table, and then somewhere in there's the truth of what everyone. Because if we all watch the same car wreck, we're all going to describe it differently. In defense of Tony, but you know,
if that's really Jaden, if there's a way we could verify if that's really Jaden, he can clarify if these people are lying or not, because they're claiming that Jaden is the one that said it. And I
you
do
need
want,
Pascal up here then, and Jaden.
and now I will say, and if SW is in chat, that's Pascal's mod, also my mod. Pascal went live and he did a lot, and I wish to God he hadn't deleted it, but he did a live stream.
He did.
Correcting that.
He did a really good.
People.
He did a really good live.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm talking about, where he was telling everybody, listen, I'm not leaving Sebastian's case. The vigil was lovely. I had a really good time. Nothing happened. He did say that.
he's got a newborn too. You know, I mean, he's got a family.
Have a newborn. You're correct.
So, Tony, I'm going to ask this because I'm not even going to lie. Like, this thought's crossed my mind before too, because with these cases, especially this case has been crazy. Okay, it's been crazy. So, this person says, if you are comfortable asking, I think many of us would like to know if Tony knew Chris Proudfoot through the crane industry. Tony as a salesman and Chris Proudfoot as an operator.
That's the question I had. Did you know Chris Proudfoot prior to this case?
1,000% no. So let me explain to you. I cover. I live in Oklahoma, as crazy as this sounds, and I cover northern Colorado, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, and Montana. In addition to that, so, you know, obviously Chris is in Tennessee. I don't even know that we have somebody that covers Tennessee. But in addition to not being, you know, now the crane community, a lot of people like to say
Who gives a rat's ass? Who gives a rat's ass? The Crane community. If he knew Chris before.
Life, before this happened.
Oh, look, GB Folk was in there. Hey, GB.
So when somebody shows their true colors, I mean, it doesn't really benefit us to go back and try to turn somebody bad good, if that makes sense.
Well, no, and I wouldn't think that would be the role either, right?
No, it's definitely not my job to do that.
Right.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, what is his job? His job should be exactly this. Thank you, Walking Dead. Sebastian. No one gives a rat's ass about your GoFundMe, rescuing the puppy dogs and the kitty cats. You have the platform. Seth is supposedly like a brother to you. Why are you not giving details? I don't mean details that you can't say. But don't be bitching to me saying, why aren't you talking about Sebastian? Listen, I'm not the meteor manager. I'm not Sebastian's mom. I can't be anyone's dad because I'm a woman. The stepdad. You get a platform and you're up there. Why don't you say the topic at hand is Sebastian and Sebastian only? This is what we know. I mean, if somebody came on my panel and I started asking them a ton of questions about cranes and shit, I would expect them to go, now hold on. I'm here to represent the family, Seth in particular, to find Sebastian Rogers. So if you don't want to ask me about what we're doing to find Sebastian, then this interview's over. Those are just my thoughts. Hello, Terry Lynn. Terry Lynn, your name was brought up in that. I don't know why Tony's got such a hard on for you. You want to grab the link? And there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not going to talk about that. That's his own personal business. I've been on panels before where people ask me stuff and I'm like, I'm not going to talk about that. It's not important. You think you're going to do a whole freaking live saying I wouldn't answer a question? Get out of here. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being here. And tomorrow we have a big, hang on. Girl, you hear some trouble?
Am I in trouble? I might be.
Oh, girl, what you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing. What are you doing?
Just wrapping up the show. I tried to call Stephen Crabtree yesterday, and I left him a text because I'm trying to figure out how to get that damn trombone to him.
I think something happened to his dog.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was at the vet's last night. Now, is Tony talking about me?
He said something about an altercation with Terry. You're the only Terry I know.
He's never had no damn altercation with me because, trust me, he'd remember it.
He'd remember it?
Yeah, he would. Yes, he would.
It may not have been him, but your name was brought up.
Yeah. So apparently somebody asked if I was I don't know if it was this PI. Listen, he offered me his number at that restaurant. Said if I needed anything, and I said I'll never need anything from you ever, and I meant it.
Yeah. Captain Kurt Reacts is back. Where you been, Captain Kurt? I don't know. It was a train wreck, and I feel bad for Brittany because, he was backstage. I could tell she was nervous. I could tell, she was like, didn't know what she was stepping into. And for all intents and purposes, he was just talking. I didn't really see a lot of interviewing going on, if you know what I mean. But I mean, if you are the spokesman for Seth, just say, all right, let's talk about the day Sebastian went missing. Let's talk about the weekend, what led up to it. Let's talk about a month before, you know, arguments in the household, things like that. That would make more sense to me. Oh, we lost Terry. I don't know what happened. I don't know where Terry went. Anyway, this has been a great show, guys. Sorry I wasn't around yesterday. And again, I apologize for my little meltdown on Friday. That's way done and over. You all have a great rest of your Taco Tuesday. And I will see you back here tomorrow. If anyone, actually, you know what? I will post it in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. There is a case that is local here. And I believe the grandma is going to come on. And it's a really interesting, very interesting case, what they're going through to try to get custody of their grandson. Well, you guys are the absolute best. Mod Squad, thank you for the millionth time for keeping it real and keeping it cool. And if I don't see you in Discord or one of the Facebook groups, then I will see you back here tomorrow. Love ya.